What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, I'm finally bringing you guys yet another 6-star legend concept video. Now, it has been a while since I've actually uploaded one of these videos, but, I've been working on this concept over the last, day or so, and it came together really well, and I'm really happy with how this actually turned out. So today, I'm glad to bring you guys a brand new legend concept on Ben Beckman. Now, Ben Beckman being the vice captain of the Red Hair Pirates, or Shanks' crew, the Yonko Shanks, and, I really wanted to create this character because I've seen this artwork on the Adventure Log artwork, and if you guys want to see all of the artworks from that game, or just some of the artworks from that game, the link in the description down below will link you to it where I find all these artworks, and this artwork looks really cool, and I know that, Ben Beckman isn't a really notable character in the series currently, but, he is a vice captain of one of the most powerful crews in One Piece, and, we've seen Marco the Phoenix, he's the vice captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, and we've seen him get a legend, and, from some of the other Yonkos, we could possibly see, them getting legends for some of their vice captains in the future of One Piece Treasure Cruise as well. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So here is the big reveal of the 6-star legend concept Ben Beckman. Now, when creating this character, I did do quite a bit of research on him to try and see if I could find any information whatsoever to help me with the creation of this concept. And one thing that was noted by a fair few websites actually was the fact that Ben Beckman himself is the most intelligent person in all of East Blue, apparently, which is actually pretty crazy. I had no idea that was the case. So knowing that, I wanted him to be a Cerebral character, and, he's really well known for his, famous flintlock pistol, so definitely I wanted him to be a shooter character as well. As for his typing, I wanted him to be the same typing as the Legend Shanks, which is yellow, because I wanted to make sure that when I created this character, I wanted to make sure that he could actually be used on, a Legend Shanks team. So I wanted him to be yellow. He obviously could have been Int as well, knowing that he is an intelligent character, but I really wanted to make sure that this character worked well with the actual Legend Shanks. And at the end of this video, guys, I'm going to show you guys a breakdown of a team that I built with this guy as captain, and it's absolutely insane how good the team is. But anyways, guys, let's move on now to some other statistics about this character. So he has 5 socket spots. Arguably could have been 4 socket spots because he does have a farmable version being the Coliseum Ben Beckman, but I just decided to go with 5 socket spots, similar to Stronghold Shanks in that regard. And now let's move on to his statistics. So his HP is 3,843, which is pretty high actually. That's a very high HP stat. I made his attack a little bit lower though, of 1385, and his recovery at 312, and 4 combo just because, I guess combo doesn't really matter that much. That could really be argued for any number really, but I guess 4 combo just because we don't really know exactly how he actually fights, but we know that he has a very powerful gun that he does carry around with him everywhere, and he is quite famous for, so that's why I wanted just to leave him at 4 combo, because I wasn't too sure, exactly what, he actually does with his fighting style. But let's move on now to his abilities, which is arguably the most important part of the Legend Concept series. So let's start off with the bottom scrolling text, which is his captain ability. It boosts the attack of Cerebral and shooter characters by 2 times. However, it will add an extra 1 times attack to the original 2 times if that character is also a Psi unit. So basically meaning that if you run a team of, as long as this guy's your captain, if you run a team of all Cerebral and shooter characters that are also yellow, then they're all going to get a 3 times boost. So, it's a really high multiplier of attack. However, it is very specific on the characters that you can bring. So they either have to be Psi Cerebral, or Psi Shooter, or Psi Cerebral Shooter. So either one of those 3 classes and type combinations will work on a Ben Beckman team to get the 3 times attack. Now, if they are not an actual Psi unit, however they are still Cerebral and Shooter, they will still get 2 times attack, but they get an additional 1 times extra added to that 2 times if they are a yellow unit. However, the captain ability does not end there. It will also make it so that if every character hits a perfect, when this guy's your captain, if every character hits a perfect, reduce cooldowns of all characters by 1 turn. Now, you gotta keep in mind, guys, that if you have a double Ben Beckman captain and everyone hits a perfect, all characters' cooldowns get reduced by 2 turns, which is absolutely phenomenal. This makes speedrunning things super quick with a Ben Beckman team, and honestly, I think this captain ability is very balanced. It doesn't boost HP or recovery. It is a simple 3 times boost to a very specific class and type combination, and it will also reduce cooldowns by 2 turns when you have the double captain if you hit all of your perfects. So overall, I think this captain ability is very well balanced, very well rounded, and could definitely see a lot of play in the current meta of One Piece Treasure Cruise. But now let's go ahead and move on from the captain ability and go up to the top scrolling text, which is the special ability. So I don't really know what it would start at, but I definitely want it to be, you know, maxing around about 7 turns. That can be give or take, you know, that could potentially be higher or lower, depending on, you know, some other characters that come out in the future. But it will add 1.0 to the chain multiplier and make it easier to land perfects for 2 turns. So let's break this down real quick. So obviously the easier part to explain is that for 2 turns, it will make perfects easier to hit. So that's really, really simple to understand, and especially it works really, really well with his captain ability, being that if you hit a perfect with all of your characters, you will basically get a lower cooldown. So that's really, really cool. Then the other part of the special will add 1.0 to the chain multiplier and makes it easier to land perfects for 2 turns. So that's the overall special. So if it's for 2 turns, it will add the 1.0 to the chain multiplier. On screen right now, you should see the little pop-up that basically explains what is happening. So you can see the regular actual combo of the chain multiplier goes from, it starts off at a 1.3, then goes to 1.6, 1.9, 2.2, 2.5. It basically adds 1.0 to each one of those numbers, but basically how the intervals go is that it will add 0.3 each time you basically hit a perfect. So I wanted to make, instead of adding 0.3, it adds 1.3, so it adds the extra additional 1.0. So it goes from 2.3 at the start to then a 3.6, and then a 4.9, and then it jumps up to a 6.2, and then a 7.5 times chain multiplier boost. And that is also for 2 turns as well, which is actually really, really cool and enables the team with this guy as captain to get amazing damage output. And we're going to go through a really powerful team in a minute that will actually abuse this with some other really powerful subunits to enable you to deal a lot of damage and also be able to speedrun things, because as long as you're hitting your perfect, you're getting 2 turns lost of cooldown every single turn with this guy as your captain, plus you have to add the extra turn of just regular stalling that occurs. So basically, if you keep hitting your perfects, you're going to be basically taking off 3 turns of cooldown every turn. So this guy is an absolute beast for speed farming anything, really. He's just super, super powerful with his damage output and also very, very fast at clearing dungeons. Now we're going to go ahead and do a breakdown of a specific team that I've built with this guy as the captain. Now, do keep in mind, guys, that some of these units that I explain on this team are not actually available on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global at the moment. So if you guys do not want to be spoiled on any abilities that I'm about to explain, then feel free to just leave the video right now, because I am going to explain a couple of characters that are not available on Treasure Cruise Global currently. They are available on the Japanese version of OPTC, however, but let's get straight into it. So it uses double Ben Beckman, and the subunits are Legend Kizaru, Raid Boss Boa, Impact Usopp, and the brand new post-time skip Frankie. PTS Frankie is what I'm calling him in this video. That's probably what I'm going to be continuously calling all of that batch of Straw Hats, is the PTS post-time skip Straw Hats. So the basic concept of this team is that you have so much damage output, because definitely with your Legend Kizaru, with his special, your whole team gets matching orbs, because if you guys don't know what he does, he gives shooters and slashers a full board of matching orbs. They get matching orbs at the maximum stage 3 special. So being that all of these characters are shooters, as well as having the ace bow, is actually really, really cool. So you can abuse using the ace's striker ship, because all of the characters here are shooter characters, and being them all yellow and they are all shooter characters, they will work with Ben Beckman's captain ability. So I have calculated everything with the stats I've made for Ben Beckman and put them into you know, different equations to calculate the damage output of the team, as well as the health. So the health, including the Aces Striker ship, without including any cotton candies, is 21,510. So that is actually really, really good, and it will get obviously a bigger boost depending on what cotton candies you have on your characters. So yeah, that is also really, really cool. And then for the damage output as well, the specials that I have active are Ben Beckman's special, which will add the 1.0 chain multiplier. Also, you have Impact Usopp, who gives you 2 times attack attack to your yellow characters. And then also you have the PTS Frankie, who will give you a 2x orb boost to all of your yellow characters. Now that is crazy good. I didn't really list it here, but it doesn't really add any damage. But one special that also needs to really be active is the Legend Kizaru special as well, because he gives all of your characters on your team a matching orb. Now the Raid Boss Boa really can be switched out for any character really. The only reason why she's here is because she's the highest damage outputting unit that is a size shooter, and also because her special is really good. Obviously her special won't work in tandem with Ben Beckman because they both have, you know, different reasonings for their chain multiplier. You don't really want to lock your chain multiplier at 2.5 and then try and add 1.0 to your multiplier, because it won't work in that regard. So, you know, Boa could be used on a stage before or a stage after you activate all of these specials. She's still a really solid unit, but just make sure you don't use Boa and Beckman on the same turn, because that won't actually work. Also to note, this has a 26 combo hitting team as well, so it won't actually break through the combo barrier of the minion that is on the Raid Boss Boa dungeon. So that is also a really big flaw to this team. Only a 26 hit combo. That is one thing that is really bad about this team. But as you can see at the bottom, the damage output 3.8 million damage with all matching orbs, and all of the specials active. You get that 3.8 million to every single color that is neutral. So obviously to red, green, blue, and to Psy as well. Obviously when it's against Int, it's going to be doubled because it is super effective. So with this specific team against Int characters, you're dealing 7.6 million damage, which is super cool. Really glad to see that this team actually does so much damage output. But that is absolutely awesome, and that's pretty much going to conclude this whole Legend concept video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.